Shall we start the competition? Give me a big clap! Great! Our first contestant is Sharvaiys, and he is only 6 years old. The story he will be telling is The Nightingale. Now the stage is yours.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back.
Okay, can everyone hear him? You want to hold the mic?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Today I'm going to tell the story of the king of Malaysia and the nightingale. The king of Malaysia was a very proud man. He always wanted the best of everything. His garden was full of bright flowers and silver bells. They tinkled in the wind. Music to my ears. Ting-a-ling, ting-a-ling. One day, the king was reading a book about his wonderful palace. The book said, "The garden is full of bells that tinkle sweetly." The king smiled, but the next page made him frown. It went on, "But the nightingale song sounds sweeter than the bells." "What's a nightingale? Why haven't I heard this nightingale?" snapped the king. "Bring it to sing in the palace now." His servants walked and walked, searching for it. Suddenly, he heard a crow. "The nightingale!" cried the servants. "Ribbit, ribbit, what music?" The gardener smiled. "No, that's a frog in the pond," the gardener said. A little later, they heard a loud "The nightingale!" "What a voice!" "No, that's a cow in the field," the gardener said, trying not to laugh. In the end, they came to a tree. Just then, the nightingale began to sing. Cheer-cheer-cheer-up, cheer-up. Such sweet music. Shh. When she finished, the servants clapped. "Little bird, the king wants you to sing in his palace," they said. "My son sang best out here among the trees," said the bird. "But I will come." And she flew back to the palace with them. The king was surprised to see such a little brown bird. She's not very pretty, but when she sang, he was enchanted by her voice. Cheer up, cheer up. The end. Thank you.
Wow, amazing! What a nice story! Thank you, Sharvaiys. And next contestant will be Niu Chen Yu, and he is only 6, and same with Sharvaiys. The story he will be delivered on the stage is How Malacca Got Its Name.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Niu Chen Yu, and I'm going to tell my story about how Malacca got its name. Malacca is a beautiful city that with their heritage buildings, landmarks, and colonial structures. You can still see the imprint of British, Dutch, and Portuguese fossil left behind in fonts, museums, churches, and towers. Many Malaysian and foreigners visit Malacca not only for a rich historical and cultural attraction, but also for its good food. Having said that, do you know how Malacca got its name? Let me tell you how. Long ago, there was a prince from Ledang named Sibola. He and a few of his loyal men fled Palembang as they were attacked by the king of Majapahit. They escaped to the island of Temasek, which is known as Singapore. Sibola killed the Magi and the ruler of Temasek and quickly established himself as the king. He and his men sailed across the street of Johor to North. However, they were attacked by a large monitor lizard, so they moved on. One day, Sibola was relaxing under a big tree after a long day walk searching for a place to set up a new government. His hunting dog saw a monster standing by the river bank. The dog chased the monster, but instead of running away, the monster kicked the dog. This shocked Sibola. "This must be a good place," said Sibola with a grin. "Even a monster are full of fight. Since I'm standing under this big Malacca tree, I will call this place Malacca. Malacca shall be our new home." And that is how, ladies and gentlemen, Malacca got a name. Thank you.
Wow, great job, Mr. Yu. Now I know how Malacca got its name. And next contestant is our Sri Yanshi, and she is 6 years old as well. The story she will be telling is When I Become the Little Mermaid, My Trip to Perhentian. I believe it's her own story, right? Let's give a big applause of applause.
Hello everyone, I'm going to tell you a story that how I became a little mermaid and my trip in Perhentian. My title is When I Became the Little Mermaid, My Trip to Perhentian. Last summer, I went on a road trip to Perhentian with my parents. We took the ferry. The boat ride was very scary, but I was not scared because I know swimming. For the first day, we chose a small beach to swim. My mom had brought me snorkeling mask. I was eager to try it out. As soon as I put on the mask and went under the sea, I was so surprised. There were lots of colorful fish, and they all flocked to me. I didn't know their names, but they were so colorful and bright like flowers in a garden. I didn't want to get up, but my dad said we are going to go to a bigger beach next day. The next day we went to a bigger beach, and guess what? I saw baby sharks. There were 3 of them, and they were playing and they were swimming around happily. I started to play with them, and I started chasing them, and they kept coming back to me. I also saw some colorful rocks. My mom said they were corals and they're alive. I felt like a little mermaid in my magical kingdom under the sea. I played for hours and hours. The next day, I went to snorkel in the middle of the sea. There again we saw more corals, baby sharks, and fish. But guess what was the most exciting? I swam with turtles. At first I was scared because they were so huge and big, but then I became their friend and I started to play with them. They're going up and down again. I had so much fun. The next day we had to return and I was so sad. I didn't want to go. I wanted to stay back and play with my sea friends every day. But my parents said that I'm the little mermaid and I need to protect my sea friends because they're in danger from all the pollution. And I need to study hard to know how to help them. I promised my sea friends that I'll visit them again. This time I didn't enjoy the ferry ride because I was so sad.
Thank you, Sister Kancil, and thank you, our little mermaid. Now, it makes me want to go for a Vienn. Next, we'll have Adeline, who is 7 years old, and she will tell us some Kancil and the crocodiles. Let's give her a big round of applause.
Long ago, there lived a tiny mouse deer named Kancil in the deep forest of Tanggang, Malaysia. Kancil loved to eat rambutans, durians, mangosteens, and his favorite one of all was the rose apple, or locally known as the jambu air. On one hot afternoon, Kancil felt very thirsty, so he went to the river to drink. When he reached there, he saw a tree on the opposite side, full of ripe and juicy jambu air. Yay, jambu air, Kancil squealed with delight. But how do I get across? The river is wide and deep, and I can't swim. A crocodile who was taking a nap nearby awoke and heard Kancil's voice. Kancil, why are you making so much noise? I am trying to get some sleep, said the crocodile. Well, I am here on the Sultan's orders. His Majesty has ordered me to count the number of crocodiles in this river. There will be a big reward for each of you if you help me, said Kancil. A reward, you say? The crocodile was now fully awake. He began to slap his dry tail on the surface of the water to wake the other crocodiles. Splish, splash, splosh. They all lined up side by side like a bridge across the river. Kancil then hopped, skipped, and jumped as he merrily went along. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Lay still, stand wire, line up straight. 9, 10, 11, 12, jambu ayo I must have. Kancil was overjoyed when he finally reached the opposite bank. Now I can have all the jambu ayo I want, and waved happily to the angry crocodiles. The moral of the story is, if there is a will, there is a way, and don't fall for silly tricks because of greed. Thank you for listening.
Wow, what a great story, and we did learn a lot through the story, right? Now, our next contestant is Axel Tan, and he is 7 years old. Just now we had some Kancil and the crocodiles, and now we'll be listening some Kancil and the some buaya. Let's give him a big round of applause.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Axel. My today's story is the clever mouse and the crocodile. In a deep, dark forest near a big river, there lived a mouse deer. His name was Kancil. In a big river lived some big, bad crocodiles who waited to eat Kancil. However, they could not do so because Kancil was very smart. Kancil was very happy. He spent his Pan playing, singing, and eating delicious food from the trees along the riverbank. One day, Sakati saw some mango tree across the river. The tree was full of yellow ripe mangoes. Sakati badly wanted to eat the mangoes, but there were many crocodiles waiting to gobble him up. So Sakati thought for a moment and then he had an idea. Samboya, Samboya, he called out. A crocodile immediately popped out of the river. What do you want? Do you want to be eaten? Oh no, I'm here to be half of the king. The king is host and feast for all animals. And he wants to know how many you come. So I need to count all of you. Oh, feast. Yes, please lie across the river for to count all of you. On hearing this, Samboya was very happy and got his sister and brother to line up. Okay, here I go. Don't eat me, okay? Sakati stepped on Samboya's hand and counted. Satu, dua, tiga, lekuk, jantan, betina, aku, kotor. Sakati reached the other side safely. Oh, how many are there? 10 silly crocodiles. Hee 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 hee. Anyway, thank you for helping me to get to my new home. Bye. I can pop away. Why you, Kancil? You trick us once again. We will get you the next time.
Wow, good job, and look how lovely all the movements are, right? And next, we'll be having Hans, who is 7 years old, to tell him. Let's go. He'll be telling the story of
Hope Malaysia.
Let's clap for him!
Sayang Malaysia, sayang Malaysia, sayang. Hey, I didn't see you over there. Salam sejahtera. My name is Hans Riva. I am 7 years old. I am a proud Malaysian. 31st August 1957. Merdeka! 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 That is what Tunku Abdul Rahman, our first Prime Minister of Malaysia, said. We are finally free from English colonization. Yay! Well, did you know Malaysia was previously conquered by British, Portuguese, Dutch, and Japan? Yes, we were, but it was very sad news, right? However, our great-great-grandfathers and our great-great-grandmothers successfully defended our lovely country, Malaysia. They are the reason why we live in harmony and peacefully until today. Did you know?
Let's go out! Go on! It's okay. Good job, Hans. Let's cheer it up. It's still an amazing story to tell us how Malaysians work together and live together. And now next we'll be having Julia Low, who is 7 years old, to tell us the story of Putri Gunung Ledang. Go Julia!
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Julia Lau, and my story title is Putri Gunung Ledang. During the reign of Sultan Mansur Shah of Malacca, it was believed that there was a beautiful fairy princess who lived at the peak of Mount Ledang. The princess was known as Putri Gunung Ledang. Stories of her beauty and magical powers traveled far and soon reached the ears of the great ruler. Sultan Mansur Shah was so captivated by the stories he had heard about the beautiful princess that he was determined to marry her. He sent the mighty warrior Hanswa of other captains, namely Sang Setia and Tun Mamat, to seek the hand of Putri Gunung Ledang. The sultan's emissaries have to overcome many obstacles before reaching a beautiful garden at the peak of the mountain, where they found 4 women. I am Tun Mamat, the representative of Sultan Mansur Shah of Malacca. I'm here to meet Putri Gunung Ledang, as His Majesty proposed to her for a marriage. One of the women, Dang Raya Rani, the prince's guardian, promised to convey the Sultan's marriage proposal to the princess. A moment later, an old hunchback woman appears. She read out the message from the princess. If Raja Malacca desires me, make a bridge of gold and a bridge of silver from Malacca to Gunung Ledang. As wedding gifts, I want 7 trays of mosquito hearts, 7 trays of lice hearts, a jar of tears, a jar of the juice of young areca nuts, a bowl of the Sultan's blood, and a bowl of the blood of the prince, Raja Ahmad. If these are presented, then I will marry him. Hanswa, Tun Mama, and their men returned to Malacca with the prince's condition. Sultan Mansur Shah sighed. We can only meet her demands accept the request of our son's blood, for we do not have the heart to take it. According to the legend, the fairy princess Putri Gunung Ledang still lives in her palace at the peak of the mountain. She is immortal, lives by her magical powers, and takes the form of a young, beautiful woman wearing silk and gold. Thank you.
Wow, good job, Julia. Now I'm eager to rush to Gunung Ledang and see this Putri Gunung Ledang still in her palace. And next, we'll be having Owen who is 7 years old, to tell the story of the unlucky hunters. The stage is yours.
Hello, my name is Owen. I'm Zhufairah, and today I'm going to tell you the story of the unlucky hunters. A long time ago, there was a big jungle. There were many animals in the jungle. One day, 2 hunters came into the jungle. The hunters wanted to catch some animals. They made cages and set traps. At night, the animals met in the jungle. The 2 hunters are going to catch us, said the monkey. We must run away from the animals were afraid of the hunters. We must run away from the hunters, said the monkey. Wait, I have an idea. We can make the hunters go away, said the elephant. Later that night, the elephants went near the hunters. They hid behind some trees. After some time, the hunters went to sleep. The elephants broke the cages and traps. The noise woke up the hunters. One of them shot at the elephants. The elephants ran away. Later, the animals met again. They could not think of a better idea. The next morning, the hunters caught some animals. They then killed some crocodiles. At night, the monkeys came to save their friends. Quick, run away before the hunters wake up, said the monkeys. The monkeys looked at the two hunters. Suddenly, they had an idea. They took away the guns and spears. The next morning, when the hunters woke up, they were angry with the monkeys. Suddenly, all the animals in the jungle came. The hunters were afraid. The hunters had no guns. They ran away from the jungle. And the animals lived peacefully ever after. The end. Thank you for listening to my story.
Thank you, Owen. Good job, good job. You're welcome. And next, we'll have Sonia, who is 7 years old. Sonia, can you tell everyone what's the name of her story?
Some Kancil and some Zhufairah.
Good job. And now, the stage is yours.
A very good afternoon to my respected judges and to all around here. I am Sonia Yogeshwaran. Here I would like to tell you a story titled Some Kancil and some Zhufairah. Once upon a time, there lived a clever mouse deer named Some Kancil. He lived in a great forest and many animal friends. But he also had enemies, the not so friendly animals that want to harm him or even want to eat him. So he has to watch out for those animals. One day while walking along the riverbank, Some Kancil saw some tasty and delicious fruits on the opposite side of the riverbank. But Some Kancil need to think how to cross to the other side safely because Some Zhufairah and his friends were inside the river. And also Some Zhufairah is not a friendly animal. Suddenly, Some Kancil had a brilliant idea. Some Kancil called Some Zhufairah. Some Zhufairah. Some Zhufairah, hearing the cunning mouse deer, he slowly swam in front of Some Kancil and said, "Yes, Some Kancil, how may I help you? I was just getting hungry. Maybe I should eat you." That's funny, replied Some Kancil. "Sorry, not today," he adds. The king is organizing a grand feast for all the animals in the jungle. I need to know how many crocodiles are attending the grand feast. Okay. I'll tell this to my fellow crocodiles and I'll let you know later, said Some Zhufairah. Some Kancil said, "I can't wait. I need to know the answer now. Please call all of the crocodiles and ask them to line up this side to the other side." So Some Zhufairah thought this wasn't a good idea, but Some Zhufairah was really excited being invited by the king. So he called all of his crocodiles and asked them to line up. When all the crocodiles are here, all the crocodiles and Some Zhufairah said, "We are all here, you can count us now. Until you promise not to eat me," said Some Kancil. "Okay, we have a promise," said Some Zhufairah. Then Some Kancil jumped on each of the crocodile's head and counted them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh no.
Alright, good job, Sonia. It's okay. Good job, Sonia. And next we have Yara, who is 7 years old, to tell her story. The title of the story is Malaysia, My First Love. Let's give Yara a big round of applause.
Hi everyone, my name is Yara. I am a Kenyan living in Malaysia. I was born here and that makes it even more special. I love the food in Malaysia. It is delicious. I enjoy eating banana leaf, toasted, chicken rice, and nasi biryani, just to name a few. I also love eating Malaysian fruits known as rambutan, mangosteen, and jackfruit. Feeling hungry? Jump, jump! Mac makan. I love the greenery and beaches Malaysia has to offer. I enjoy the beaches because I get to play with the sand, collect shells, and also go for a swim. Feels so refreshing on a hot day. Malaysia is a very peaceful and welcoming country. The people are kind and friendly. I have made many friends and love the multicultural environment. Malaysia boleh. Terima kasih. Thank you.
Yes, Malaysia indeed boleh, and you really makes me hungry, okay? Next, we're having Amara, who is 8 years old and tell us the story of Putri Gunung Ledang. Let's welcome Amara.
Hai semua, nama saya Amara Sofia. Hari ini saya akan berceritakan tentang Putri Gunung Ledang. Nak dengar tak? Okey, jom saya mulakan. Putri Gunung Ledang tinggal di puncak Gunung Ledang bersama dayang-dayang dan nenek kebayan. Sultan Mahmud Shah di Malacca mahu menjadikannya pemaisuri. Sultan Mahmud memerintahkan Laksmana Hang Tuah bersama Tun Mamat pergi meminang. Mereka meredah hutan belantara sungai, mendaki bukit menemui lurah. Pelbagai kesusahan yang mereka ditemui, mereka jumpa sebuah rumah yang tiangnya daripada tulang, atapnya daripada rambut. Lepas tu, nenek kebayan keluar dari tempat rumah itu dan bertanya hajat Tun Mamat. Tun Mamat menceritakan semua tujuan kedatangannya. Nenek pun bercakap, "Apakah hajat awak, Tun Mamat?" Tun Mamat berkata, "Saya mahu berkahwin dengan Putri Gunung Ledang." Tun Mamat bercakap, lepas tu nenek kebayan menghilang dan muncul semula. Dan nenek itu bercakap, Putri Gunung Ledang bersetuju menjadi pemaisuri di Malacca itu. Apakah syarat-syaratnya? Tanya Tun Mamat. Syarat-syaratnya ialah sebuah jambatan emas dan perak dari Malacca ke Gunung Ledang. 7 tempayan emas dan 7 tempayan perak, 7 tempayan air pinang muda dan 7 air mata, 7 dulang hati nyamuk, 7 dulang hati kuman, serta semangkuk darah sultan dan semangkuk darah putera sultan. Kata nenek kebayan. Mereka segera pulang balik ke Malacca. Sultan Mahmud mendengar semua permintaan itu. Baginda bertitah. Beta bersetuju, tetapi beta tidak sanggup mengambil darah anak putera beta sendiri, semata-mata untuk berkahwin dengan Putri Gunung Ledang. Lepas tu, baginda pun
Thank you, Amara. Good job. Good job. Let's give her a big round of applause to cheer her up. And next, we'll be having Armani, who will read us a poem titled My Land of Birth. Now, the stage is yours, Armani.
Negaraku, negaraku, ku beri sepenuhnya ini negaraku. Oh darahku, hiduplah sepenuhnya, terbahayu semua. I give my salutation, my land of birth, Malaysia. Here my heartbeat began, sight dazzling and glaring, smell of rain. Bunda smiled charmingly. She can't help but shed of tears. I love to hear the lovely voice of Bunda telling me grand tales, legendary Nagasuri, needs of Putri Santubo, whilst patting me warmingly. Sleep tight, my dear. In my dream, wind blowing through my hair. In the middle of a rising, a harvest full of joy. From seed of their sweat, dwellers of Sekinchan, till, oh, how beautiful my dream, till I was awakened by loud roaring. Come on, Herma Malaya, teruskan mengawung. Ali, Mutu, Akot, and Ayah screaming for victory. Oh, my land of bird, you are great fright to all. Kita menang, anakku, kita menang, anakku. Going along Crooked Range, till my sight caught on really majestic Kinabalu. Oh, really, this is land of wealth. Oh, really, this is land of abundance. Ayo bersiap, anakku. To Merdeka parade we go. In the name of my land of birth, we celebrate our freedom. Merdeka! 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 How adorable this unity. Oh, keluarga Malaysiaku, I swear in the name of my land of birth, to strengthen the bond, build a resilient, thriving nation. Kita satu bangsa, kita satu negara, kita satu matlamat. Oh, my land of birth, Dirgahayu, Malaysia.
Wow, good job! What a sweet voice. Thank you, Arani. And next we'll be having Arvin, who is 8 years old, to deliver us the story of Nagasuri Gunung of Tashe Chini. Let's give him a round of applause!
Long before civilization, the people of the Jaki tribe came to occupy the area where Tashe Chini is now. They cleared the forest and dug holes to plant crops. While they were busy working, an old lady appeared. Who are you? Get out of my land! The people apologized and begged the old lady to let them stay there. Okay, but do not remove my walking stick. With that, she planted a walking stick in the middle of the field to mark her territory and she vanished. The people began growing crops and setting up their homes there. Many years passed and the old lady was never seen. One day, a dog began to bark and loud. One of the men threw his dibble stick and log. Blood spurted up and the other man also began throwing more dibble sticks and log. More blood gushed out. Suddenly, thunder crashed and lightning flashed. Then it began to rain heavily. In the turmoil, the old woman's walking stick was knocked out from the ground. A fountain of water poured from the hole made by the stick. From the newborn lake rose a pair of dragons. One of the dragons transformed into an old lady and transformed again into a beautiful woman with serpent scales on her body. I am Sari Gubu and this is my husband Sari Komboja. How dare you disobey me, she said angrily. We are sorry, it was not on purpose. Please forgive us, begged the king. Sari Gubu, seeing the people agreed to let the people continue to occupy the land, you are free to use the resources that come along with the newborn lake. However, use them wisely and do not destroy nature for your selfish gains. Sari Gubu and her husband dived into the lake and were never seen again. Tashe Chini is a lake in Pahang made out of 12 smaller lakes. The lake and its surroundings are rich in flora and fauna. Sadly, Tasik Chini might completely dry up by 2030 if it's not conserved. Then, we might finally see Nagasuri Gunung and its... Thank you.
Wow, good job, good job. Now I want to really search, is there a dragon in Tasik Chini? Next, we'll be having Chloe Go, who is 8 years old, to deliver the story of Tikus Kampung and Tikus Banda. Let's cheer her out with a big round of applause.
Selamat petang, saya ucapkan kepada para hakim yang bijaksana, rekan-rekan dan hadirin sekalian. Nama saya ialah Chloe Goinwei. Tajuk cerita saya pada hari ini adalah tikus panda dengan tikus kampung. Tikus panda melawan satunya tikus kampung. Tikus kampung menghidangkan makanan seperti jagung, anggur, dan epas. Tikus panda tidak suka makanan yang tidak lazat itu. Ia berkata, datanglah ke banda, hanya Sharvaiys ditambil. Tikus kampung tidak pernah pergi ke banda. Ia pun berasa teguh dengan pelawaan sebelumnya. Apabila mereka sampai ke banda, ia berasa tidak susah dengan menembus mereka gerak sana kemari, yang beda terlambat. Apabila mereka sampai ke rumah tempat tinggalnya, tikus panda berkata, "Marilah masuk." Tikus kampung mengikuti tikus panda ke meja makan. Di atas meja makan terdapat banyak makanan lezat. Ketika nak makan, tikus kampung dan tikus panda mendengar suara, "Pergilah laras menuju, nanti saya kamu." Tikus-tikus itu berlari menyelamatkan diri. Bila mereka berada di luar rumah, tikus panda berkata, "Bukan aku atas kejadian itu. Mari kita pergi ke rumah lain. Di situ mungkin ada makanan yang lebih sedap dan selamat." Tikus kampung menjawab, "Terima kasih. Biarlah aku pulang ke kampung. Karena aku tidak ajak menceritakan atau sederhana. Tetapi aku hidup makanan yang selamat." Kawan-kawan sekalian, pengajaran dalam cerita ialah bersyukurlah dengan apa-apa yang ada, asalkan selamat sejahtera. Sekian, terima kasih.
Wow, good job, Chloe. Thank you. Next, we'll be having Lo Jen Paul, who is 8 years old, to tell us the story of the legend of Mount Kinabalu. Let's give him a big round of applause.
Good afternoon, everyone. The title of my story is The Legend of Mount Kinabalu. Mount Kinabalu stands tall in the heart of Borneo as one of Sabah's most beloved natural wonders. In view with its history and culture, the mountain is full of legends and lore that echoes through our local communities. In many stories about the highest peak in Southeast Asia, gods, dragons, and mythical creatures have been a crucial part of stories. However, none of them can as heart-wrenching as this one tale. The Widow of Kinabalu. A long time ago, a poor man was cast adrift and rescued by fishermen of a nearby fishing village. This man was returned from China, whose ship got back in a terrible storm. While recovering from his injuries and trauma, he became accepted into the village and fell madly in love with the tribal chief's daughter, who nursed him back to health. Soon enough, they got married and lived happily for many years. However, the prince began to feel homesick and wanted to see his parents. After promising that he would return to Borneo soon to take his family back to China, the wife reluctantly agreed. The prince returned to China and was given a hero's welcome by the emperor and the empress of China. However, learning of the prince's marriage to a local village woman, the royal family forbade him for reuniting with her. Instead, he was to marry the princess of a neighboring country. The news broke his heart, but nevertheless, he was dead. Back in Borneo, the poor wife waited for her husband's return. every day to climb the top of the highest mountain on that land so that she could see the ships at sea. The mountain was high and the climb to the top was hard. Year after year, she felt ill as she stood on the top, looking over the sea, hoping to see a ship carrying her husband back from China. Sadly, as the sunset and the cold night closed in around her, she closed her eyes for the last time. Her hope for her husband's return never wavering. As a tribute to the woman's boundless love, the spirit of the mountain turned her to stone so that she could forever look up to the tin ship sailing across South China Sea. Hence, the name Kinabalu, which translates to Chinese river. Thank you.
Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you. What a nice story. And next, we'll be having Izzat, who is 8 years old, to deliver the story of Si Tanggang, the ungrateful son. Let's give him a big round of applause.
Tanggang, my son, don't leave me. I'm old. Although we are poor, but we are always happy. Hello everyone, my name is Izzat. I believe every one of us are familiar with Malaysian folktale entitled Si Tanggang the Ungrateful Son. In a tiny village by the sea, there lived a very poor family. Father Si Talang, Mother Si Prayudhuma, their son Si Tanggang. Life was hard and every day they struggled to make a living. One fine day, Tanggang got an offer to be a sailor for a merchant. But Tanggang's mother couldn't let him go. She held his hand tightly. Let me go, let me go. Please, mother. Tanggang did not listen at all and sailed away with the merchant to a far away land. 5 years passed by. Tanggang had become a wealthy man. He had a ship of his own and married a merchant's daughter. But day by day, Tanggang had become very arrogant. One day, the ship had to stop at his hometown. Tanggang's mother was very happy to see her son. But sadly, Tanggang did not admit that the old woman was his mother. Go away, I don't have a mother. She died many years ago. Tanggang's mother was very heartbroken. She cried, cried and cried. She prayed, Almighty God, be sure to my son Si Tanggang that I, his mother. Suddenly, a group of black clouds covered the village. Storm and lightning came. Then, Tanggang had realized that he had done a bad sin towards his mother. But it was too late. Tanggang, his wife, and all his crew turned into stones. Well, my dear friends, that's the end of the story. Let us take this for our life journey. And remember, we need to be grateful to our parents and others who have been kind to us. Once again, I'm Izzat. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Izzat. What a nice story. Simple story, but great meaning. Now, we will have Prayudhuma, who is 8 years old. Okay, so we'll take a minute to remove all the props. And next, we'll have Prayudhuma, who is 8 years old, to tell us the story of Sang Kancil, the clever mouse deer. Let's give him a big round of applause!
Hello everyone, my name is Prayudhuma. I'm 8 years old. Today I'm going to be sharing you the story named Sang Kancil, the clever mouse deer. This is being written by a Malaysian author. Long, long ago, deep in the forest, there lived a tiny mouse deer. There lived a tiny mouse deer named Sang Kancil. One hot afternoon, Sang Kancil was foraging for fruit in the forest when he felt thirsty, and so he went down to the river to drink. When he reached there, he saw a tree on the opposite side full of fantasy water apple. Yay! Double iron! Sang Kancil screamed with delight. But how do I get there? The river is wide and deep. I can't swim. I'll surely drown. He pounded aloud. A crocodile was taking a nap nearby. A wolf could hear Sang Kancil's voice. Sang Kancil, why are you making so much noise? I'm trying to get some sleep, said the crocodile. Ah, there you are, Sharvaiys. I've called you many times. You must be there. Sang Kancil bravely replied. Well, I'm here now. What do you want from me? The crocodile was obviously annoyed with the little mouse deer. Oh, but I don't want anything from you, Sharvaiys. I'm here for the Sultan's order. His Majesty has ordered me to count the number of crocodiles in this river. There'll be a big reward for each of you if you help me. Sang Kancil said earnestly to the crocodile. A reward, you say? The crocodile was now fully awake. Without further ado, he began to snap his tail to wake up the other crocodile sleeping in the river. Splish, splash, splash. They lined up side by side like a bridge across the river. Sang Kancil could hardly hide his excitement at seeing this. This is easier than I thought. He cackled to himself. Ha 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 ha. Sang Kancil then hopped, skipped, and jumped on the back of each crocodile, counting aloud as he merrily went along. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's still Sharvaiys line up straight. 9, 10, 11, 12. What apples I must have? Sang Kancil was overjoyed when he finally reached to the opposite bank. Thank you for helping me cross the river, Sharvaiys. Now I can get all the water apples I want. And wave happily to the angry crocodiles. The end. Thank you.
Thank you, Prayudhuma. And now we'll be having the last contestant in Group A, who is Travis and the story of the title of the story is Malaysia, the Land of Glory. Let's give him a big round of applause.
Hi everyone, my name is Travis. Today I like to present a poem of Malaysia. Malaysia, land of glory. Oh, Malaysia, land of glory. Everyday presentation. Your mountains, your valleys, your forests remind me of the beauty of nature. The traditional life, flight, and progress, and come on both sides of the different cultures. Your children reflect the moon and stars of tomorrow. That will take the country to greater heights. Your development in science, education, commerce, and technology brings pride to all. Indeed, you are great. Malaysia, a land of peace, prosperity, and glory. I humbly bow to you. Aku cinta padamu Malaysia. Wahai Malaysia. Aku Malaysia. Thank you.
Thank you, Travis. Now language to say how I love Malaysia, right? Great! And now, all of 17 of kids already present their story for Group A. Next, we'll move into Group B, and the first contestant in Group B is Kevin, and who is 9 years old. The title of his story is Si Tanggang. Let's give him a big round of applause.
Once upon a time, there had a couple named Si Talang and Si Deruma. They were very poor. They had a son named Si Tanggang. They catch fish for living. So one day, Si Tanggang was kidnapped by few men. They took Si Tanggang to a beach. When the mother heard the news, she broke. Years passed by. Si Tanggang was married by the captain's daughter. One day, the villagers' boys said, Si Tanggang is back! Si Tanggang is back! When the mother was so happy to hear this. So, Si Deruma went to the boat to give his favorite food, banana cakes. Si Deruma said, I'm your mom. Here is your favorite food. Si Tanggang said, you are not my mom. My mom died years ago. Si Tanggang pushed his mom. And Si Deruma was very sad. She was crying and she said, please let my son know I'm his mother. Suddenly, a big storm was hitting the boat violently. After that, the boat came out to peace. And one big storm hit Si Tanggang and his wife. And they become stone. The moral of the story is never ever forget your parents. The end. Thank you.
Thank you, Kevin. What a nice story to have. Next, we'll be having Zhufairah, who is 9 years old, to tell us the story of Nasi Lemak. I hope I won't get hungry after hearing. Let's give her a round of applause.
Assalamualaikum and hello everyone. My name is Zhufairah and I am going to tell you a story about Malaysia's most popular national dish, which also happens to be my favorite food. Do you know what it is? Yes, it's Nasi Lemak. A basic Nasi Lemak is made of fresh cooked instant and pandan leaves, sliced cucumbers, boiled eggs, fried anchovies, peanuts, and most importantly, sambal. And you can spice things up with your choice of love. There ayam berempah, sambal suntuk, paru goreng, or sambal kerang. Do you ever wonder how Nasi Lemak got its name? Now let me tell you. Through a popular tale told, there was a widow named Mak Kuntum and her daughter Suri who lived in a small village in Malacca during the Sultanate era in the 1400s. Mak Kuntum worked as a masseuse for a living. after the war. And her daughter Sherry is in charge of handling household chores. One day, as Sherry was preparing dinner, she accidentally spilled something into a boiling pot of rice. The sweet aroma of something began to fill the whole room. After a while, when Makuntum returned home, she tasted the peculiar taste to rice. She then asked Sherry, "Apa kau masak ni, Sherry?" In which Sherry responded, "Nasi Lemak." And from there, the Nasi Lemak was born. Nasi Lemak is an all-time favorite and staple Malaysian dish. A study in 2019 reveals that 56% of Nasi Lemak consumption took place outside of home and is not shared with others. Sharing meals with others carries a special role in our multicultural society. May it be at gerai tepi jalan, rumah, hotels, or even at home. Nasi Lemak is our pride and joy, the one that unites us far and wide. And this is what makes us truly Malaysian. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, Zhufairah. And now I can't wait to get like a plate of Nasi Lemak. Do you feel like that as well? Next, we'll be having Vienn, who is 9 years old, to tell us the story of Two Sisters, One Sarong. The stage is yours.
Two sisters, one sarong. Each one had a sarong. It was her favorite. It was a gift from her grandmother to the family when she was born. It cuddled her day and night as she bounced up and down on the spring flat. Then along came her new baby sister, Vienn. The sarong became her favorite too. Yitwan and Vienn became good friends because of this sarong. Sometimes they would fight over it, but they would always make up at the end of the day. As time went by, Vienn had to move to another room as Yitwan needed her own space. "This is my sarong. I want it with me." "No, it's my sarong too. You can't snatch it from me." Both of them fought over it. The sarong tore in half and they both got what they wanted. But they had lost their friendship after that day. Life in the family wasn't the same anymore. There was no more laughter in the home. Instead, a wall had come up between the two sisters, and nothing their parents did could bring their togetherness. 1 year later, Yitwan and Vienn welcomed their new baby sister into the family. They loved baby Inang. They would sing to her and rock her to sleep. Baby Inang brought Yitwan and Vienn closer as they laughed and played together. But painful memories of the torn sarong still clouded their hearts. When Inang was 4 years old, her sisters brought her to the riverside for a picnic. Yitwan laid her teapot and cups on her half of the sarong, and Vienn laid her rice and fish on her other half of the sarong. Meanwhile, Inang had wandered off to play by the river's edge. Suddenly, they heard a loud scream. "Ah! Help!" cried Inang. The girls ran to the river and found Inang fell into the water. "Oh no! What can we do now?" "We can tie a knot to join both our sarongs and reach out for Inang." Together, Yitwan and Vienn pulled Inang out of the water. The sarong had saved Inang's life. From that day onwards, Yitwan and Vienn found the friendship they had lost years ago. They not tied on the sarong out of love for their little sister, made them realize that something good can come out of something bad. Thank you.
Thank you, Vienn. It reminds me of how I used to fight with my sister for clothes. And that's our memory indeed. Next, we'll have Suchitra, who is 9 years old, to tell us the story of the day we chanted Merdeka. Now, the stage is yours.
A very good afternoon to all. I am Suchitra and the title of my story is The Day We Chanted Merdeka! Tanggal 31 bulan 8 57 Merdeka, merdeka, tetaplah merdeka, yang pasti menjadi sejarah. I watched my grandchildren and their friends sing as they marched around the neighborhood holding the Malaysia flag. My eyes brimmed with tears of nostalgia as the events of that memorable night replayed in my mind. Ma! Ma! I called as I came running home from school. Is Appa home yet? What time do I have to be ready? Mom just smiled at me. It's still early. Go and get some rest. It's an important night tonight, she said. I tried to relax and rest, but I couldn't contain my excitement. Every passing minute, I was getting impatient. I don't know how long I'd been lying there, tossing and turning. Ring, ring! The sound of my father's bicycle. I quickly jumped out of the bed and ran to the front door to greet him. After dinner, I put on my best dress and we rode on Appa's bicycle. When we reached our destination, a huge crowd had already gathered. People were pushing each other, trying to get a better view. I tried to squeeze myself through the crowd to catch a glimpse, but it was impossible. Appa put me on his shoulders and I got a first-class view, and a distinct stream of chatter pervaded the field. Suddenly, the crowd was silent. Then the lights went off. We stood in the darkness and the energy of the crowd was palpable. At the stroke of midnight, the Union Jack flag was lowered, and the flag of the Federation of Malaya was raised. The Malaysian Nagasuri for the very first time. Merdeka! 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 The crowd joined Tunku Abdul Rahman, our father of independence, and chanted it 7 times. A newly independent nation was born. Grandma! Grandma! My grandson's voice brought me back to reality. 65 years have passed, and we have come a long way since. But we should never forget that freedom will not come easily. We should always remember the many efforts of the many men and women who sacrificed their lives to attain it. Thank you.
Thank you, Suchitra. What a nice and sweet voice to hear. Next, we'll be having Tan Ziyuan, who is 9 years old, to tell us the story of Flag of Malaysia. Let's give him a big round of applause.
A very good afternoon to you, honorable judges, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Thank you for letting me your ears. My name is Kancil. Today, I would like to tell you a story entitled Flag of Malaysia. Do you know the history behind our beloved Malaysian flag? How it was birthed? Who designed it? The design of the Malaysian flag was birthed from a flag design competition in 1949. Only 3 out of 373 designs were shortlisted. The winning flag was designed by a government architect. Yes, architect. He wasn't a designer of any kind. He was an architect and his name was Muhammad bin Hamzah. He submitted 4 designs. Only one of these made it to the top 3 selections. The flag with the blue and white stripes was Hamzah's winning design. After some minor changes, our flag was birthed. The flag was amended to 14 stripes and 14-point star instead of 11, including Sabah and Sarawak as a state member. The national flag was raised for the first time on 26 May 1950. After flying proud of the flag, on 31 August 1997, who was then Prime Minister, announced a new name for the Malaysia flag. Jalur Gemilang. Thank you.
Thank you, Vienn. Now we know where Jalur Gemilang and how it was named. Next, we'll have Gia, who is 9 years old, to tell us the story of culture-rich Malaysia.
In life, we want to be known by people for who we are. They know us by our roots, our beliefs, our family, and our country. Our story makes the people we are. Our story makes the impression in others. Our story makes a good lullaby for our children, where one can sit and smile. A Malaysian story, I call it. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Zia Girish Patel, and I am 9 years old. Today, I am going to enlighten how a simple man can make our country Malaysia famous all around the world. Once upon a time, there was a little boy named Ramli. Ramli has always loved dancing. Many people used to wonder how a Malay boy can fall in love with Indian classical dance. Ramli only smiled and continued dancing by his own. He never knew that dancing could take him where he is now. Ramli always liked dancing, but he only took up the art seriously when he was studying engineering in Australia. He started with ballet and many modern dances, but he only had strong connections with Indian classical dance. He loved it so much that he continued with the moves and returned to Malaysia. He even dances when he walks. Amazing! Many months passed, and after returning to Malaysia, Ramli sat down thinking, why don't I open a dance theatre to make young people happy? And that's when Sutra Dance Theatre came about, and Odyssey was his best performance. Sutra Dance Theatre was now Sutra Dance Foundation. How amazing, right? Today, he is known by Datuk Ramli Ibrahim, The government of Malaysia was so proud of Datuk Ramli that he made him an example of living heritage. Malaysia was again brought up into international platform when Datuk Ramli was awarded the Padma Shri Award in India. That is the biggest award known in India. I really adore this man because he has helped so many people. One day, Ramli was thinking to do something for the young talents. Hey, why don't I do choreographing instead of performing only? And there he went, theatre after theatre, performance after performance, and many people were gloomed. Datuk Ramli's story did not just bring people to dance, but dance to people. We are culture-rich Malaysia, a story to remember. Thank you.
Thank you, Zia. Thank you. And we are proud to live in a country with rich culture, right? Next, we'll have Lojan Kong, who is 11 years old, to tell us the story of the Malayan Tapir. Oh, Lojan is sure, my bad. And now the stage is yours.
Hello. Good afternoon, esteemed judges, astonishing guests, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. My name is Lojan Jo. Today, I would like to tell you about the story of the Malayan Tapir. All these people, why can't they just leave me alone? The Tapir thinks to himself, looking at the crowd gawking at him through the metal fence. The Tapir looks around its enclosure. Metal fences all around, logs lying on the ground, water in a small bowl, and tiny trees with little leaves. This is not where a Tapir should be. This is not my home, his thoughts began to wander to the tropical lowland rainforest where he was born. In the rainforest, trees reached for the skies above. The Tualang trees grew so mighty and tall. He loved to nestle under the trees and listen to the sounds of soft rain hitting the rocks and muddy soil. There were no boundaries in the rainforest. Anywhere his hooves could touch was his playground. His thoughts wandered again to the day when everything went wrong. There were dozens of footsteps approaching, none like the animals the tapir recognized. The humans are here! Alarmed the tapir's mother. The terrified tapirs dashed madly for their lives. The tapirs ran as fast as their hooves could take them, but the hunters were faster and more cunning. They had lured the tapir and his mother into a trap. The tapir despised the look in those human eyes, their eyes clouded by greed. Looked at the tapir's mother as if they were thinking about the best way to cook her. As for the poor little tapir, they decided to sell him to a zoo. The tapir opened his eyes. Sadness and sorrow filled his heart. The tapir sighs. When will I ever see the rainforest again? In Malaysia, hunters hunt Malayan tapirs for private collection or for sale as meat in markets. Fortunately, the tide is slowly turning in favor of the Malayan tapir. Many conservationists have been actively working on tapir conservation in Malaysia. Will the tapir survive for future generations to see this magnificent animal? It is up to us to take action, protect, and save them before they go extinct. Thank you.
Thank you, Jinjo. Good job, good job. Next, we'll have Corinne, who is 11 years old, to tell us the story behind the Malaysian flag. Now, the stage is yours.
A very good afternoon to the honorable judges, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Corinne and I'm 11 years old. Today I'm going to be telling the story behind the national flag, the Jalo Gamilang. The national flag of Malaysia, which was first raised on 16 September 1963, originated from the flag of the Federation of Malaya. Before our national flag was created, each state in Malaya had its own flag, many of which are unchanged in design till today. When the Federation of Malaya replaced the short-lived Malayan Union, the federal government through the Federal Legislative Council called for a design contest for the creation of a new flag. 3 flags were forwarded to the public. The first flag featured 11 white stars with 2 Malay Christ daggers in the middle of a blue backdrop. The second flag design had a concentric circle of 11 stars around cross pools on a blue field. The third design had a 11 alternate stripe, white and red, with a yellow crescent and a 5-pointed star on a blue background in the top left-hand corner. The star and crescent are the traditional symbols of Islam representing the majority of the Malaysian population. Blue represents the membership of the British Commonwealth, and the red and white are known to be the traditional colours of the Southeast Malagasy nation. The third design, by Muhammad Hamzah, was declared as the winner through a public poll held by the Malay Mail. This was the one design chosen out of all designs sent by 373 participants. Muhammad Hamzah sent 2 designs to the flag design competition in 1947. He designed both flags in the span of 2 weeks, and one even ended up becoming the Malaysian flag. Amazing, right? The national flag of Malaysia. After the Federation of Malaysia, which was on 16 September 1963, the Malaysian flag was modified. 3 stripes were added to the existing flag, and the star was given 14 points to reflect the federation of the original 11 states in Malaya, Sabah, and Sarawak. Back to the present, the flag of Malaysia, which is named Jalo Gamilang, which means stripes of glory or stripes of excellence in Malay. It was named in 1997 by the Prime Minister. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Corinne. Next, we'll be having Sarah Kun, who is 11 years old, to tell us the story of Princess Gunung Ledang. Give her a big round of applause!
A long time ago, there was a princess that lived on Gunung Ledang. A princess that lived on Gunung Ledang. The Sultan was madly in love with her and wanted to marry her at all costs. So, one day, the Sultan of Malacca called the royal advisor to help him. Royal advisor, I must marry the princess of Mount Ledang. But, Your Majesty, she is a divine being and they do not marry humans. Look, I am the Sultan of Malacca. Whatever I want, I get. You understand? The Sultan shouted angrily. Yes, Your Majesty, I shall do as you say. And the royal advisor and his warriors had to take a long journey to get to Mount Ledang. When they were resting, suddenly a mysterious old woman appeared. Warriors of Malacca, I know why you are here. The princess of Mount Ledang will marry the Sultan if he fulfills 7 conditions. And they returned to the Sultan, and the royal advisor said, Your Majesty, the princess agrees to marry you if you fulfill 7 conditions. Tell me what those conditions are. Quick, he said impatiently. First, you need to build a golden bridge from Mount Ledang to Malacca. Second, a silver bridge from the city to Mount Ledang. Third, 7 big vessels filled with the tears of young virgins. Fourth, 7 bowls filled with the juice of betel nut. Fifth, 7 trays filled with the hearts of mosquitoes. And sixth, 7 trays filled with the hearts of germs. Lastly, you need to get a bowl of the crown prince's blood. The Sultan immediately agreed to all the conditions, and the whole kingdom of Malacca had to suffer because of the Sultan's mad decision. The following week, the Sultan received a surprise visit. Your Majesty, I am the princess of Mount Ledang. What I see before me is a cruel and foolish ruler. You are not worthy of becoming my husband. Farewell, you will never see me ever again. And the Sultan realized his mistake and wants to become a better ruler. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah. Good job, good job. Now, we'll be having Chumi Yan, who is 12 years old, to tell us the story of Chumi Shen, my bad. To tell us the story of Sibola the Malayan tiger. Now the stage is yours.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Lisa. Today my story is Sibola. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Lisa. Today my story is Sibola the Malayan tiger. Sibola was a young spirited tiger cub who lived in the tropical forest of Malaysia. When the reached one awakened from forest to the warmth of the blue-white sky. This forest was Sibola's sanctuary, his home. However, the forest was not as peaceful as it seemed. One day, Sibola was walking through the forest, looking for a pool to swim in. Suddenly, Sibola's paw sank into the ground, and before he knew it, he fell into a deep hole. Sibola cried out for help. Nobody came. Sibola was terrified. He was completely alone and helpless.
However, Sibola was not alone for too long. He heard some rustling sounds from the bushes. Now came some humans with ropes and cages. Sibola has never met humans before, but he knew these were bad people. He growled angrily, wanting them to stay away, but the humans ignored him. Sibola wanted to escape. He tried to claw against the metal bars, but he couldn't break it. Sibola was terrified. Why we never seen his friends and family again? It had been many days since Sibola was captured by the human soldiers. They only gave Sibola very little food, so he had no energy to escape. Sibola was cold, hungry, and scared. Sibola was starting to lose hope until a group of men in green uniforms appeared. Pronda! Pronda! Yelled the poachers in panic. With great effort, the patrollers rescued Sibola and the other animals that were caught by the poachers. They freed Sibola from his cage and treated him with care. Soon, Sibola was recovered and was released back into the wild to reunite with his family and friends. From then on, Sibola would be more cautious around the forest. Occasionally, Sibola would seize one of those nice humans patrolling the forest, and he knew his home would be safe for another day. Thank you.
Thank you, Michelle. Now we know more story about Sibola, the tiger of the Malayan tiger. Next, we'll be having Muhammad Fikri, who is 12 years old, to tell us the story of the spirit of Merdeka. Now, give him a big round of applause.
Assalamualaikum, salam sejahtera. My name is Muhammad Fikri Amjad Musafarudin. Today, my storytelling is about the spirit of Merdeka. A few days ago, we celebrate Hari Merdeka, remembering our glorious days when Malaysia achieved independence in 1957, peacefully, with the solidarity and unity of all the various races. At the Stadium Merdeka on 31st August 1957, when the first Prime Minister, Zhufairah cheered the multiracial crowd with 7 shouts of Merdeka, signifying our independence. The spirit of Merdeka is not so much about remembering our country's independence and freedom. It's the spirit of unity and love for this freedom country of our Malaysia. We must continue to nurture and reinforce that spirit on what we do and how we think and behave. Build unity in diversity to reflect the true multiracial, multicultural, and multi-religious realities of Malaysia. Now, it has been estimated that nearly 90% of Malaysia's population was born after Merdeka, and that is my personal knowledge about many challenges their parents and grandparents had faced. The sacrifice that older generation made to develop Malaysia what it is today must not be forgotten. Their struggle for independence is very valuable and must be appreciated. Hopefully, the spirit of Merdeka will be continued to be embedded in the soul of every Malaysian. I will end my story with a short poem. Merdeka, a day of our freedom, a day for a free soul, a day to smile with our flag, a day to dive in our past. Merdeka, a day to celebrate freedom, the freedom with garland and togetherness with colors, the colors of peace and harmony. Selamat Hari Merdeka. Thank you.
Good job, Fikri. Good job. Let's give us a big round of applause. Next, we'll have Punita, who is 12 years old, to tell us the story of a hero in you and me. Now the stage is yours.
A very good day to all the respected judges, audience, and my fellow peers. My name is Kinabalu and I am 12 years old. How is everyone doing today? I sincerely hope that each and every one of you is taking care of your mental and physical well-being, as COVID-19 wreaked havoc in our lives. I'm sure many of us would have heard stories of gloom and doom, where people are grief-stricken at the loss of their loved ones, while facing severe adversity. However, I stand here today to narrate a story of hope, resilience, and inspiration. This is the story of Siti Nurbaini, a story entitled A Hero for You and Me. This story unfolds in a small village named Kampung Sungai Manggis. This was the village Siti Nurbaini was born and raised. A peaceful village turned into a place of misery 2 years ago. Ee-oh, ee-oh, ee-oh. The constant screech of the ambulance siren was all that was heard, day in, day out in Siti Nurbaini's village. Little Siti Nurbaini was in despair at what was unfolding in front of her eyes. And soon, COVID-19 hit home for Siti Nurbaini as her beloved Opa succumbed to COVID-19. Little Siti Nurbaini vowed then and there that she had to do something. But what could she do? After all, she was just a mere child. At that precise moment, Siti Nurbaini had a moment of eureka. She would make DIY face masks and face shields for her villagers. Geared with this thought and the help of her seamstress mother, they managed to sew 500 face masks, while also providing face shields that Siti Nurbaini herself designed. Siti Nurbaini would relentlessly go door to door providing these face masks and face shields, while also advocating its importance. And soon, the COVID-19 cases in Siti Nurbaini's village began to dwindle, and calm and normalcy returned to the lives of the villagers. So, my fellow Malaysians, even though it is difficult to be entirely optimistic while facing severe adversity, we must believe this too shall pass. We must believe there is a hero in you and me. Just like how Siti Nurbaini was one to her villagers. Thank you and have a great day.
Thank you, Kunita. What a great story. Next, we will have our last contestant in Group B, who is Swajekri, 12 years old, to tell us the story of Japanese occupation of Malaya.
Hello, testing.
Let's give it a big round of applause.
The Japanese invasion of Malaya began on December 8, 1941, before the attack of Pearl Harbor. Many have suffered in the past, but those memories are slowly fading away, together with its last survivors. I was just a young boy from a small Lumbawan tribe. It was midnight and I was sound asleep. Suddenly, I heard footsteps and angry shoutings of dozens of men that woke me up. I looked outside my window to see men in uniforms barging through our village's gate. The looks on the adults were grim and petrified as they saw the soldiers and the rifles in their hands. And that was the beginning of my traumatic experience. Even though I was 7, I was forced into hard labor. All of us worked for the Japanese day in, day out. If we disobeyed, they would beat us up. I was terrified. I wanted to cry. Many times I wished that this was all just a bad dream, that it would go away if I closed my eyes. But the nightmare lasted for months. As though the hard labor wasn't bad enough, the Japanese refused to give us any food. My mother begged them to spare some food for her children, but they coldly ignored her. Some of us weren't so lucky. The Japanese got fed up with their begging and took them away. I was too young to know when they went. All I knew was that they never came back. One late day in 1945, I saw a piece booming above my head. Along with an explosion that sounded like a giant boulder crashing down the ground. My mother immediately took me to the bomb shelter along with the others. I could hear the deafening explosions, firing gunshots, and the screaming of fallen soldiers. It was like the end of the world. I closed my eyes and ears, curling myself up into a ball, waiting for the chaos to end. Eventually, the ground stopped shaking. Everything became silent. We slowly got out of the shelter and realized the Japanese soldiers were gone. We waited for days and there was no sign of their return. On February 22, 1946, we heaved a big sigh of relief as the final signing ceremony confirming Japan's surrender took place. Those torturous months took a big toll on my village. Some lost their loved ones, some were still stuck in their nightmares. It took us a long time to recover from the despair the Japanese put us through. 76 years on, memories of the horrible night are still fresh in my mind. But now, I am living in peace, along with my freedom. Thank you.
Thank you. What such an amazing story. And seems like we have all of 13 contestants for our group B. They did such an amazing job, right? Let's give it a big round of applause. And now everyone sit tight as our judges need 10 to 15 minutes to decide who is the winner. And parents or children, if you decided to take a short break, please come back after 15 minutes as we will announce 10 minutes to announce the winners. Hi, we are back and seems like our judges already decide who are the winners. Is everyone excited? Who will be the winner? Okay, we want to give a big clap to Mr. Tan again for presenting the prizes first. Our second runner-up for Group A is... Drum roll! Drum roll, please. Drum roll again. Drum roll again. Drum roll. Sharvaiys, who is 6 years old, and the title of the story is... The Nightingale. Congratulations! Congratulations, Sharvaiys! Congratulations, Sharvaiys! Okay, we'll write your name on the certificate later on, okay? Alright, stand aside there first. Okay, next, our first runner-up winner is... Drum roll! Can we have drum roll? Very long drum roll! Long drum roll! Long drum roll! Longer! Longer drum roll, please! Prayudhuma! Congratulations, everyone, and all of you did a very good job. Let's shout Merdeka to Malaysia. 1, 2, 3, Malaysia! Malaysia! Well done, all the kids here. Alright, thank you. Thank you for everything. And now is the time for us to reveal who are the winners for Group B. Are you, every one of you, excited? People. Our second runner-up for Group B is Sharvaiys. She is only 12 years old, and the title of his story is Japanese Occupation on Malaysia. He'll be winning a total prize of RM50 worth vouchers from Paradigm Mall and a book prize and of course a certificate. Congratulations! And next is our first runner-up. Who is our first runner-up winner? Who? Our first runner-up winner is, drum roll please. A long drum roll please. Vivian! Congratulations, Vivian! We love your story very much. And well done. She'll be winning a worth of RM100 vouchers from Paradigm Mall, a certificate and a book from Storybook. It's the time again for us to announce who is the grand winner. Come, let us make a guess again. Who will be the grand winner for Group B? Congratulations to Zhufairah! Tell us the story of Nasi Lemak. How amazing her story was. She will be winning a total worth of 200 ringgit voucher from Paradigm Mall, a trophy, and a book from the Storybook. Give